Hey guys, how's it going? This is Daniel, the Land Miler, and today we're going to be talking about which credit cards in the Canadian space are the best keeper cards. If you're new to the channel, I talk about credit cards, how to fly the world in first and business class, so if you're ready to level up your travel game, give this video a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to stay tuned. Now, what exactly is a keeper card? A keeper card is a card that you justify keeping year after year, whether they're free or whether you need to pay annually for them. I think the defining point of a keeper card is whether or not there's significant value above the potential fee that you're paying for them. In some cases, it might be the earn rates where you're inclined to put a significant portion of your day-to-day spending on those cards. In some cases, you might not even need to spend any money on the card just because those perks and benefits far outweigh the annual fee of the card. Let's take a look at what cards that you'll find value in keeping long term. Kicking things off, probably the easiest addition to this list are the American Express Marriott Personal and Business Bonvoy cards. This is an example of a card where you can literally put no spending on it per year and still get value year after year. The reason for this is the 35,000 point free night award that you get each anniversary you hold the card. To put the value into perspective, let's break the math down. So the annual fee of the personal and business versions of the American Express Bonvoy cards are $120 and $150 respectively. We won't get into too much detail about the perks like the Marriott Silver status or Amex offers just because those values kind of fluctuate depending on the person and year after year. We're essentially paying these annual fees specifically for that 35,000 point night voucher. Since our break-even point is $120 and $150, the idea is to book a hotel room that ultimately costs more than these fees. Realistically speaking though, $150 after taxes for a hotel room can't really get you anything these days. Some local use cases for me for the 35,000 point night voucher is the Marriott Markham, where prices are currently running at around $300 per night. If I want to trek out to Burlington, the Pearl Hotel and Spa can be booked and you often see rates of over $300-400 a night. That's not to mention that you can now add 15,000 of your own Marriott Bonvoy points to increase the night value of that voucher from 35,000 to 50,000 points a night. This now means that with this certificate plus a bunch of your own points, you can access hotels like the W's, Ritz-Carlton's, luxury collections of the world. Now, if you're a longtime user of Marriott Bonvoy and have elite status, this makes it even more apparent when you include things like free breakfast, lounge access, and late checkout. Even without status though, I think it's fairly easy to justify the annual fees of these cards with that 35,000 point night voucher, unless of course you don't value hotels at all. The second card on this list is the American Express Cobalt card, coming in at a monthly fee of $12.99. Reasoning being here is that there is almost no other card in the Canadian market now that has the miles earning rate that the American Express Cobalt card does. In specific, earning 5 points per dollar on grocery and dining purchases up to $30,000 per year. And when you consider the Cobalt MR program, which transfers to programs like Air Canada's Aeroplan at a 1-to-1 ratio, and arguably each point is worth over 2 cents per point, you're getting a return of at least 10%. Now, if you're getting a baseline 3 to 4 cents on a business class booking, then those points are now worth even more, and you're going to be looking at a return of near 20% in value. I think that even if you're working on a bonus, this is one card I definitely keep in my wallet at all times. The third card, and rivaling the Cobalt card, is the Scotiabank American Express Gold card, coming in at an annual fee of $120. The Scotiabank card also earns 5x on grocery and dining categories, however it does earn an extra point, 6x on select grocers. However, the caveat is that they're SEAM Plus points and not MR points. On top of this is the added perk that Scotiabank Gold has, which is no FX foreign exchange fees. Although the points earn rate does get reduced to 1x for these purchases, not having to eat that 2.5% exchange fee is a huge plus. The only downside of the Scotiabank American Express Gold is that it doesn't have the same transfer partners that the Cobalt does to programs like Aeroplan or British Airways Avios. So for people making use of frequent flyer programs like Aeroplan, I definitely think the Cobalt ranks ahead of the Scotiabank Gold. And for people who are frequently using the Cobalt points into programs like Aeroplan, I definitely think 5 MR points per dollar transferred to Aeroplan is valued higher than 6 SEAM points. Card number 4, and it's definitely going to be a little bit of a dark horse with the upcoming changes to the card, and that's the MBNA Rewards World Elite card. Rivaling the two previous cards, the MBNA Rewards World Elite also earns 5x on dining and groceries, but also on digital media, memberships, and household utility purchases. It also has a higher spending cap at $50,000 per year per category. Now, there are several reasons why you might prefer the MBNA World Elite over the two previous cards. For one, the MBNA World Elite is a MasterCard, which means it has much higher acceptability than cards like American Express cards. This fills in gaps for restaurants and grocers that typically don't take American Express purchases where you can't use the Cobalt or the Scotiabank Gold. This card also doubles as a Costco card, giving Costco's exclusivity with MasterCard. Unfortunately, you probably won't be earning 5x because Costco doesn't code as a grocer, but it's a very good one-card solution for this. Secondly is the recently announced feature where you can transfer MBNA rewards points into Alaska miles at a 1-to-1 ratio. So, for those looking to top up their Alaska mileage plan, I definitely would think this card takes priority over both the Cobalt card and Scotiabank Gold cards. On the flip side, if Aeroplan is what you're looking for and you don't see many use case for Alaska mileage plan, then instead of having the MBNA World Elite, I'd have the Cobalt card and to supplement that for more acceptability, an Aeroplan Visa card. Last but not least, we have card number 5, and that's the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Platinum card. While this may not be a very strong card in and of itself, there are two specific reasons why I typically keep this card. Reasoning number 1 is that it does keep your Aeroplan points from expiring. Now, if you are constantly earning and burning Aeroplan points, this doesn't really apply to you, but it's always good to know that your points are secure because you're holding an Aeroplan credit card. The worst thing to see for a casual points owner is that you've transferred a bunch of points and maybe a year and a half later you might have forgotten about it and you log in just to see that all of those points have expired. Reason number 2 is that holding an Aeroplan affiliated credit card gives you a small discount when redeeming Air Canada operated flights. With flights to almost anywhere in the world involving Air Canada for Canadians, I definitely think it's a good idea to know that you're getting a small discount and also your points are safe from expiration. I chose the CIBC card just because it doesn't have an annual fee, but if you're working on cards like the TD Aeroplan, CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite cards, and you have an all-exclusive banking account, then the annual fee still gets waived. While I deem these to be a top 5 list, I definitely don't think it's a requirement to hold every single one of these cards. Each individual has their own spending schedule and an idea of what perks and benefits they see the most value in. Personally, I hold on to the 2 American Express Marriott Bonvoy cards for the 2 Free Night Awards, the Cobalt card, and the MBNA World Elite MasterCard. I don't have the Scotiabank Gold just because I don't justify the 6 scene points over the 5 MR points, even if I were to do shopping at Sobeys or the retailers that earn 6x. Putting myself into someone else's shoes, like an events planner where they typically have a lot of dining purchases because they're booking out venues, then it might be an idea to have all 3 of those cards. Since the Cobalt's 5x multiplier is only limited to $30,000 per year, having the MBNA World Elite and the Scotiabank Gold American Express would be a huge addition if you have that level of spending. And those would be my top 5 keeper cards. If you guys have any questions about the topic that we talked about today, leave a quick comment in the comment box below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And as always, if you're enjoying the content and would like to see more, definitely give this video a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for even more travel hacking content. That's all for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.